Let's try something fun. Drop your city and what time it is for you right now down in the comments. Then picture the sun barely up over Arlington, Virginia, a little autumn bite in the air, mist curling around neat rows of white headstones. Every stone lined up so perfect it'd make your grandpa's toolbox look sloppy out here. Every step matters. And that's not just a figure of speech, because at the tomb of the unknown soldier, there's a guard named Ryan doing his thing. Boots snapping down in a rhythm older than anyone watching. 21 paces. Slow turn. Pause. 21 back. Like he's the metronome holding time itself. And yeah, historians still argue whether the 21 steps is about gun salutes or just the number someone thought sounded right. But the effect is pure poetry. A hush falls on the whole plaza. From veterans to kindergartners clutching flags so hard the sticks bend. And even the birds seem to fly quieter here. Maybe out of respect, or maybe they're just as nosy as people. You never can tell. The morning's so still you could hear a leaf land until, well, the piece gets a little designer cologne on it. And that's the first sign something's about to go sideways. Because here comes Victor Langston, a CEO with shoes worth more than your used Corolla, pushing past the rope with a get-out-of-my-way energy you normally see at Black Friday TV sales. And the crowd every kind of American, from grumpy Vietnam vet with a Cubs hat to newlywed couple holding hands, starts picking up the shift in the air, like a dog sensing a thunderstorm. Nobody says anything yet, but it's coming. You can feel it. Victor's talking loud in purpose. You can tell he's got an assistant in tow, and a driver who's practicing the "please let this be over" look. And he's griping about schedules and AI conferences, barely glancing at the marble monument. And when he finally stops, right at the velvet rope, you half expect him to pull out a tape measure to see if he can get closer for his Instagram story. He calls the guard a prop, wonders why anyone would waste time playing dress-up for tourists, and drops a joke about robots doing the job better for less, which, honestly, might be the only thing here that's ever gotten less applause than my 7th grade clarinet solo. The air gets tight like, wait, is he really saying this? Tight, and even the pigeons pause mid-peck, not sure whether to side with the guy in the $10, 000 suit or the silent sentinel. And some debate whether this is disrespect or just the most embarrassing case of foot in mouth in recent history. But what nobody sees is that the guard, Ryan, has a history deeper than Arlington's roots to tours in Syria. A silver star, and scars that don't show up on a selfie. Standing with a discipline that makes you wonder if he's got ice water in his veins. But the truth is, he's just got something most people spend their lives chasing: purpose. And if you want a quirky tidbit, apparently one old legend says the original tomb guards had to be at least 6 feet tall and have perfectly symmetrical teeth. Which, if true, means Ryan's orthodontist deserves a medal too. A little boy asks his dad, doesn't he ever get tired? And the dad, without missing a beat, says, not when you're standing for everyone who never came home. Historians still can't decide if that's the whole story. But the look on Ryan's face? That's not for debatees not moving. He's not blinking. And he's sure not giving Victor the satisfaction of a single word. And right about now, the whole crowd is bracing, waiting to see if the ritual's going to break, and what it'll mean if it does. Victor shifts, his impatience rolling off him in waves. And it's like he thinks this whole place was built as a backdrop for his afternoon, starts talking even louder, tossing out his name and titles, as if Arlington's going to put his face on a coin if he just yells hard enough. And every syllable ricochets across the stone, snapping people out of their quiet. A few hands going up to shield phones from what's starting to look like a meltdown. One tourist whispers, "Is he always like this?" But nobody answers, because this is new, even for the city of big egos. He's baiting the sentinel now, first with jokes, then with jabs about paychecks. bragging about his company's market cap bigger than half the countries in NATO. If you believe the hype man finally with a challenge, offering $1 million to any veterans charity if Ryan just says his name out loud. And the crowd is caught between outrage and morbid curiosity. Like watching someone lick a frozen flagpole on a dare historians still argue whether Arlington has ever seen a bribe like that before. But if it has, nobody's talking, because the energy here isn't just tense. It's combustible. You catch Margaret, Victor's assistant, her knuckles white on the iPad. Shooting him desperate looks like maybe this time the boss has gone too far. And in the back, old Harold Bennett, who fought in the Pacific and knows a thing or two about lines you don't cross, just clenches his jaw and mutters. He's about to learn the hard way. Right then, Victor loses patience with silence, steps over the velvet rope, stomps straight into the forbidden zone with all the subtlety of a marching band at a chess match. And the crowd collectively inhales, as if by holding their breath, they might keep things from tipping over. What happens next is so fast, it almost feels surreal. Victor stands toe-to-toe with Ryan, face to sunglasses, throws out another taunt. Then, in one last desperate grab for dominance, he slaps the guard across the face, the sound echoing off marble and tree trunks, hanging in the air longer than a mist. And for a moment, it's as if time stops. No one moves. No one speaks. And even the crows circling overhead freeze mid-flight, maybe wondering if they're supposed to salute or squawk. Nobody can say. It's only then that security officers who, fun fact, have a special training manual just for handling incidents at the tomb, including everything from tourists fainting to, well, CEOs slapping soldiers move in, hands firm but voices calm, placing Victor under arrest for assaulting a service member on sacred ground, which, for the record, is not the kind of viral you want to go. And the crowd finds its voice all at once. A swell of boos, gasps, and shaky cell phone footage. Not a single person siding with Victor except maybe his driver. It looks like he wishes he could trade places with anyone else in the city. And as Victor rages, shouting about lawyers and senators and his own importance, Ryan just stands tall, the red mark burning, but his composure ironclad, giving nothing back except the one thing Victor can't buy: dignity. Unshaken. And for the first time, you see in real time what all those rituals and quiet sacrifices are really about. Something that can't be measured in market caps or Instagram likes. And as the police lead Victor away, you get the feeling that Arlington just reminded everyone tourist or tycoon what respect looks like when it's tested, and why some lines aren't meant to be crossed. As the commotion ebbs and the security vehicle pulls away, the energy around the tomb shifts where, a few minutes ago, you could cut the tension with a butter knife. Now, there's just a heavy, sobering silence, the kind that settles in only after a storm, and people stand a little straighter, maybe a little prouder too, as if they've all just had a part in something bigger than any headline. Parents kneel down to their kids, voices hushed as they explain why what happened matters. And Tommy, that little boy with the flag, asks his dad if the soldier is a hero, and the dad's voice cracks as he answers, "Yeah, son, not because he fought back, but because he didn't have to." Ryan resumes his patrol, the red mark on his face glowing in the autumn sun. But his step never falters, never hurries. And there's this palpable sense that the old ritual means even more now, as if the guard is not just honoring the unknown dead, but defending the whole idea of what it means to serve with honor. Margaret stands off to the side, her iPad forgotten, eyes wide and unblinking, watching the Sentinel move with a quiet power that makes all her spreadsheets and urgent emails feel suddenly very small. And somewhere, historians still debate whether singular moments like these change public memory, or just echo the values already buried deep in the marble and the grass. Harold, the World War vet, steps forward, his granddaughter Emily at his side, and with a shaky salute, he thanks Ryan not just for what happened today, but for every day spent guarding those who can no longer speak. A veteran in a wheelchair lifts his trembling hand in silent salute, and scattered through the crowd, heads bow and tears glint. The whole plaza transformed from a tourist stop into something sacred. Even the pigeons keep a respectful distance. And if you listen hard enough, you could almost swear the wind is carrying a whisper of all the names never carved on those stones. For all his money and bravado, Victor's absence is louder than his shouts ever were. And as Margaret orders the driver to call the legal team, her voice trembling now, it's clear the real power on display isn't measured in stock prices, but in the ability to stand firm when provoked, to keep the ritual alive, to show a watching crowd one that includes skeptics, children, and the battle-weary what grace under fire really means. And yes, maybe somewhere there's still a debate about the origins of these old military traditions, or whether they're still needed in a modern world. But for today, nobody questions why Ryan keeps marching, or why the tomb is guarded at all. And so, as the crowd slowly disperses, the afternoon sun filters down through crimson leaves, painting every marble stone in gentle gold. The plaza grows quiet once more. Footsteps soft and respectful as people head back to their own lives, carrying with them the weight of what they've seen. The lesson lingering in their thoughts, a lesson about dignity, sacrifice, and the simple, steadfast courage it takes to stand your ground when the world is watching. In the hush that follows, the clicking of the sentinel's boots becomes a soothing rhythm, a promise that some things honor, duty, memory are kept alive not by noise, but by the calm, steady resolve of those who refuse to let them be forgotten. The air feels warmer, softer, almost as if the land itself is grateful for a moment of peace. And for everyone present, the memory of this day will settle like mist on the heart, quiet, proud, and unshakable